Let's talk about this extension at this point. Why is it necessary for small businesses to continue to be able to apply over the next 5 weeks?
Well, it's clear that we still have significant problems for small businesses in this country. Our economy is not back up and running. So the PPP program is still needed. When we passed the bill in March, we thought that by the end of June, there would be no further need for PPP. That's not the case. So I made a request on Tuesday to extend the program to August 8th, and the House followed suit last night. So the programs with the president's signature will be still open, but that's not the end of it. The reason we extended it to August the 8th, it gives us time to negotiate what comes next. We recognize that the 8-week help is not going to be enough.
Yeah, that was going to be my next question, is why do we think 5 weeks is enough, particularly when we're seeing some of these states roll back the reopening plans that they had set in place? What do you hear from small businesses in your state and from around the country in terms of what they're dealing with right now?
Well, small businesses are still very much hurting. There's no question about it. The effort in March was to get money out quickly, and we did. We got over $500 billion out, and almost 5 million small businesses benefited from the PPP program. It was a success. The next round, we need to target it on those small businesses that really need the help, the smaller of the small businesses, those that had significant revenue losses, those that are in underbanked and underserved communities. That's going to be our objective as we look at the second round. But we're going to need another round. Secretary Mnuchin indicated that during his testimony before our committee. This is bipartisan, working very closely with Senator Rubio. So we're working together to try to see what we should do next. Leader McConnell has indicated we should have a bill on the floor when we return here after our 2-week recess for the 4th of July. And I'm hoping that we can target a bill to continue to help small businesses in America.
What do you think about the broader prospects just for any sort of fiscal stimulus for others beyond that, in terms of what happens with the unemployment, additional benefits that have been paid out, in terms of what happens to states and local municipalities? There have been a lot of talk from the president to the House to the Senate Democrats, I think, to try and extend some of that money, but I don't know that there's unanimity by any stretch in terms of what that should look like, how much it should be, or when it would get rolled out. What are you hearing from your colleagues?
Well, several weeks ago, the House passed the HEROES Act, so they acted. Leader McConnell said it was too early to act. I disagreed with him. I think many of us did. We thought we should have acted before this recess. But the good news is that Leader McConnell indicated this week that we would be taking up a stimulus package when we return in 2 weeks. Clearly, we need to deal with state and local government and their needs. There's no question about that. We need to deal with the unemployment insurance issue that is scheduled to expire in July this month. And we need to deal with the economic consequences of COVID-19, the impact it's had on particularly small businesses.
But what does that look like? Because that's where I think there's going to be some disagreement in terms of which states should get money, what those funds should go to. Obviously, the situation on the ground is changing pretty quickly, where you see states that had not been exposed to really the beginnings of this that are getting much more pressure these days. But also the concern about states that are starting to reopen now and whether they will follow that same path in the next 4 to 5 weeks. I just feel like this is a situation where we don't know day to day, let alone week to week or month to month, what's happening. How much flexibility will be built into some of those plans? And in terms of the unemployment, what does dealing with that look like? Do you extend the unemployment benefits? Do you try and come up with a plan like Senator Portman and others have supported, which would be to offer an incentive to get people back to work? There's so many different questions. And again, it's changing on a daily basis.
So what we do is sit down and negotiate and talk and listen to each other, as we did on the CARES Act, passed it 96-0 in the United States Senate. We should start that process now, immediately, listen to each other. We have to recognize that we're in this national emergency, this pandemic. We've got to put the health of the nation first. You're correct. There are different problems in different parts of this country. That's not unusual. So we have to come up with a proposal that's fair for all. It's going to have to be bipartisan. We're going to have to work together. and then we're going to have to work with our colleagues in the House and with this administration. So that's what we need to do. But I think there is a commitment to make sure we get to the finish line, we get something done. Certainly this month, we need to pass the next stimulus package and have it signed by the president.